Hey, this is Danny from Guitar Center. I'm here with Mike from Martin at the Martin booth for Winter NAMM 2026. And we're going to talk about the Super D series today. And man, is it super. I was just holding this thing without playing anything. It was picking up vibrations that is so resonant. We have some iconic, beautiful Martin shapes that you've taken to the next level. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess you could say this project started about 5 years ago. Within the product team, we were talking about the industry moving towards parlor guitars, smaller body guitars. And don't get me wrong, we make some great parlor size guitars down to even size 5, size 2. But we were like, what if we make bigger guitars? We already make the dreadnought, sort of the flagship large guitar in the industry. What if we go one step further? And so that's what we're looking at here in terms of the body size being bigger. And basically what it is for the spec nerds out there, this is a D12 fret length, so a little bit longer, a little bit more surface area behind the bridge there, and then the width of some of the very limited amount of the oversized guitars that we did in the pre-war. So we did some pre-war D45s that were just a little bit wider, so that's the shape we used here. So overall, you're getting about 20% more air volume. That just means more of everything. You've got more resonance, more bass, more trebles. We're likening it to the clarity and sort of sonic spectrum that you get with a piano, or as close as you can get with a guitar. So we're really pleased with it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I picked it up and I just hit an E on it and just vibrated my whole body. But I'm hearing some great blending of some really deep history from Martin's designs, and you're pulling from the past to really create something new for the future. What kind of players do you think are going to pick this up? Are you hoping?
So we designed it with a few key people in mind. One, bluegrassers. We've always catered to the bluegrass market. They've been great to us, and we wanted to give something new. So most folks are comfortable with the dreadnought shape. That's sort of the standard. You don't want to be seen with anything too weird in that scene. So this has that iconic shape. It's just one more.
Awesome. Yeah. And, as somebody who is not a bluegrass flat picker myself, I picked this thing up and immediately felt at home, felt comfortable with it. You can feel the size difference, but it doesn't feel like when I was 11-year-old picking up my first Martin guitar and it was huge. I didn't know what to do with it. It was a dreadnought, but not unwieldy. That is a great way to put it. And talk to me a little bit about maybe like this, the headstock here. I'm noticing something a little bit different. I'll show on camera. Where the headstock joins the neck, some of those design features.
The HD-28 has historically had the volute in the back, or the remnants of what used to be a volute. We just call it a diamond, and it's basically just a traditional method. You used to have a scarf joint here in years past. No longer have the scarf joint, but it's still the shape that we would iconically have there. And that's a very 28 style feature.
This is one of the most beautiful guitars I've seen on the wall. If you had to choose between the Super D-18 and the HD-28 that I'm holding, what do you think? If you had to go buy one, which one would you buy?
For me, I'm a rosewood guy. I'm personally an HD-35 guy, so like real thin braces, super resonant top. I would have to go HD-28, I think. But the D-18 is a super light, resonant guitar. You couldn't go wrong with either.
Awesome. Well, I think you knocked it out of the park with these, man. They're really fun to play. And speaking of playing, I'm going to give the HD-28 a whirl so we can take a look and a listen, see how it performs. Man, Mike, that is just such a fun, amazing guitar to play. Maybe I'm gonna put one of these on my wall at some point. We'll see. But let's go talk about this new Molly Tuttle artist signature that you have. Okay, so Mike, now we have the Molly Tuttle D-18 artist signature here, which is quite a different guitar from the Super HD-28. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this collaboration, how it came about, and a little bit about what makes this guitar special?
Yeah. So last year we actually did a collaboration with Billy Strings, another very prominent bluegrass artist in the 28 vein. So this is a D-18, and Molly Tuttle came to us with the idea of recreating a lot of the vintage features from a few models that she's had over the years, and one she actually grew up playing, her dad's D-18. So this is based very firmly on a 1940s D-18, a very early 1940s. So what you're seeing here is the very iconic dreadnought shape. The neck barrel itself is almost a full thickness, so not uber thick like you would get in the 1930s, but still a full thickness barrel. And then the nut width being 1 11/16 is just a little narrower than most models within our current line. So it's a very playable neck. It fills in your hand perfectly, but still able to flat pick quite easily.
Yeah, you can really feel that custom nut width. It feels really comfortable in the hands. This guitar, compared to maybe like the D-28, is a little bit snappier. And it really, I love that story too, of like that family connection with Molly. It feels like you kind of have a piece of something really personal with her, which is really cool.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you picked on that that attribute of it being snappy. That's due to its rear shifted bracing. So most of our models within the standard series are forward shifted, which is a very 1930s era feature. But by the 1940s, we had shifted the bracing back further for a multitude of reasons. But one benefit it gives you is a little more headroom. It's a stiffer top, so that works really well for flat picking. All the notes sort of stand on their own and bloom on their own. You get really great balance, great note separation, a lot of great features. A lot of folks that have played this have said it's a really great, recording instrument because it's very flat, very easy to EQ, and just a wonderful sounding instrument.
Why don't we give it a shot, see how it sounds? Well, I think you guys really nailed this one too. This is a beautiful guitar, and for those that aren't touching it, it's got more of a satin finish as opposed to the gloss, but really beautiful appointments, really well made. You did a great job, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if you want to get one under your hands, you can check out a Molly Tuttle DX2E at your closest guitar center or on guitarcenter.com.